Hi everybody. Hi everybody. Welcome to Resilient Now podcast. So happy you are here. Um, we have a speaker today. Her name is Becky Cerling Powers. She's an author, she's a grandmother, she's a mom, she's a lot of things, and she's going to share a really cool resilient story. So, what is Resilient Now podcast? It is a space where you can hear honest conversations about things that happen in life that sometimes we're going through when we just don't know what to do, or we're confused, or we have anxiety about it. So, the mission of Resilient Now podcast is to bring you a speaker. So, these are honest conversations where they share that maybe they went through what you're going through right now and they're on the other side of it. There's space there so they can share their experience, their strength, and their hope. So, that's what Resilient Now podcast is for. So, Becky Cerling Powers, how are you? I'm so happy you're here. We're such an honor to have you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm delighted.
No, thank you for being here. I'm so excited. So, we are going to start. Please tell, first of all, before we start there, what does resilient now mean to you?
Well, resilient now would mean that maybe before I wasn't resilient, and now I am resilient. Um, I I see resilience for me. Resilience comes from reliance on God, reliance on Jesus, and I, I have many years of experience with learning to manage difficult situations with his help.
Thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to have you tell a resilient story. I think we're going to talk a few things. We're going to hopefully hear a little bit about your book. We're also going to hear, I think you were one of the first pioneers in the 80s that started doing homeschooling for your children. So you're going to talk about that and whatever else you want to talk about that has to do with resilience. So please proceed. Thank you.
Okay, well, our story was that we moved here to the borderland, to the El Paso area in 1983. My husband was a professor, or he had been working at Sandia National Labs in Albuquerque, and he'd always thought that he wanted to maybe be in academia. So when he was offered an opportunity to teach in the geology department, we decided to come down here. Well, we
And where's
took a,
here? Tell us what
oh,
state and everything.
okay. We actually live, the little bitty town that we live in is right on the border of New Mexico and Texas, but
Okay.
we're on the west side of El Paso, Texas. And of
Okay.
course, Juarez, Mexico is right across the border from
Okay.
where we live.
Okay.
So we came out here and just really enjoyed the desert. But of course, we'd been in some Albuquerque is kind of desert too. But we took a 40% cut in salary in order to come, and we also were very concerned about Dennis's parents. They were pretty elderly, and we felt like the winters in South Dakota, where he grew up, were too hard on them, and we wanted something for them.
Okay.
So we bought this fixer-upper old ranch house
Okay.
in just 2 miles from the New Mexico border because Dennis thought his father would really enjoy fixing it up because his dad had really enjoyed those kinds of projects. We didn't
Okay.
realize that his dad had Alzheimer's disease.
Oh my goodness.
And so we moved out here, and it was right when we had made the decision that we needed to homeschool our first grader. We'd been homeschooling him after he got pneumonia twice in 6 months, and our daughter was wanting to be homeschooled. So we moved out here, and we started the rehabilitation project. Dennis's parents moved into the mobile, put up a mobile home on the back lot, and that was when we realized how bad his father had gotten, and his dad was not going to be able to, to help with the remodeling project.
Right.
Dennis had a full-time job with the university, and then he was starting a little business, also with consulting because we took the 40% cut in pay,
Right.
and school wasn't working well for our kids, and we put one in a school where we needed to pay tuition. So, it was financially difficult, and I had the care of helping my mother-in-law with my father-in-law's care. And then the other two kids, when they would get sick, they would be home from school, and I would just include them in Matt's homeschool. And so they started begging to be homeschooled.
Okay.
So I wound up with homeschooling 3 kids, caregiving an elderly couple, helping my mother-in-law with someone with Alzheimer's disease, and a husband who traveled and was very busy and sometimes went off on trips to Argentina for a month.
Wow.
Left me with it. So I did need to make adjustments and learn how to cope.
You did. You're a resilient lady all the way. All the way. And I think I understand your mother-in-law lived to be like about what is it, 100 and what is it?
102. Yes.
102. So you've been taking
And
care
so
of
I
people for
was
a
her
long time.
I was her major caregiver
Mhm.
from, those last years of her life, the last decade or more of her life. She was she was quite a lady.
Hmm. That's great. And your father-in-law, how long did he live till? So when you moved there?
He lived for another 7 or 8 years.
Okay.
By that time, our oldest son had just started at New Mexico State University.
Okay. So from homeschooling, they were all able to go to college and everything. They passed all
Yes,
their tests and everything.
yes,
How
yes.
did you do it? How did you have a network? Did you reach out to people? How did that even happen?
Well, that was part of the adventure too, because at that time that we took Matt out, the Texas Education Agency
Mhm.
had sent a directive to all the public schools in Texas and said, there are these people that are trying to teach their children at home, and that's illegal, and you need to send a truant officer if you find any of those people. And we felt that what the law said was that children need to be in public school after the age of 7. They need to be in public school unless they are in a parochial school or a private school.
Mhm.
Homeschool is a very private school,
It is. It
and
sounds that
so
way.
yes, and it was a long legal battle. So we were part of that in that battle, and the public schools um, went to the Texas Supreme Court twice over it and lost both times.
Wow,
And
that's quite a story.
yeah, yeah, Texas is one of the best states in the United States to homeschool today.
Wow. And you probably set that up for them. So,
I was very involved in that because I started. My background is journalism. I started writing for the local paper. That was a wonderful, wonderful opportunity that came along because The paper really needed more family-oriented articles.
Okay.
So I was applying those for them, and they asked me to do a regular column, and I wound up doing two, actually, two weekly columns
Hmm.
for parents, and everything that I was learning it, by homeschooling my kids, I was able to pour into those columns because um, homeschooling is tutoring. It's one on one, or it's one on
Okay.
two, or one on three, whereas in a classroom a teacher has to um, to deal with 20, 25 kids.
Hmm.
And if you think about it, if you wanted to teach your child how to bake a cake, for
Hmm.
example,
Okay.
you would bring them out the kitchen, you'd get everything out and the cake mix and stuff, and you'd show them how to crack the egg, and you'd go through that process with them, and in an hour you'd have a cake. But now think about trying to do it with 15 or 20 children
Yeah.
in your kitchen. Now
Yeah.
you have to organize differently. You've got to set 15 kids aside doing something while you work with five of them, and maybe they don't all get to practice, cracking an egg because the cake mix only takes two eggs. Anyway, it's much more complicated, much more complicated.
It sounds that way. But it sounds like you did an amazing job. So what are the kids doing now? What are they working? They all went to college, you said. So they're older now, the kids.
The kids are older now. Our youngest, who had reading problems,
Mhm.
wound up getting a PhD in cancer research.
Oh my God.
Yes.
You did a very good job.
Our daughter is is the publisher of my book.
My God.
I
Tell us the name of the book.
It's
Forbidden.
a Forbidden Orphanage outside the Forbidden City.
Oh my God. Please go that up, everybody. Great. Yes.
And I was researching that, and that is really the source of a lot of my resilience came from researching for this book. It's a true story about a mystery relative that I had. I wanted to know what her story was. She started an orphanage for children in China in 1929.
Wow.
And when she died, these old letters and pictures and things came into my possession.
It's beautiful.
I started finding people who knew her and found out she had saved the lives of about 200 kids. She had gone through
What's her name?
famines.
Oh,
Her
you're not
name
allowed
is
to say her name.
Laura Richards.
Okay,
Laura
Laura
Richards.
Richards. Okay.
She'd gone through famines. She'd gone through wars. There was a local invasion of bandits who were
Wow.
kidnapping all the local people. The Japanese took over,
Yeah.
and she wound up with all these refugees in her yard with her kids.
But she
When
saved
the
them. She saved a lot of them. She helped
She
them.
saved a lot of people. She saved a lot of people, and she could not because uh, when the People's Republic of China was born, they took over the institutions that had been started by Westerners.
Mm.
Um, they offered to let her stay because they were very impressed with what she'd done. But she was going to have to denounce the U.S. president, and she was going to have to give up
Yeah.
teaching the children about Jesus. And Jesus was had been their whole
Right.
supply. Um,
So don't tell us more because there's a story there. I want people to
okay,
read
okay,
it. Do I want to read it? And we
okay,
don't really
okay.
get into like a lot of politics in here and all that, but I want people to
Yeah.
read your book. I definitely want that. Um, so that is a beautiful story. So you told us about, so okay, so you have that's two kids you told us about, but you have a third.
Okay. Yes. Um, so Jessica is a publisher now, and Eric is uh, Eric right now is working for my husband. My husband is a geologist working on his own. He's
Okay.
left the university and he started his own business. And so
That's
Eric does
great.
Eric does work for him. Eric has a master's in biology.
Good job. You were a good homeschooler. I'll tell you that. It might not be for everybody, but you definitely knew what you were doing with these kids. Look at them. They're all thriving. They've all done fantastic. That's just wonderful. I'm so happy to hear that story because, so what did you do for them socially since they were just with their siblings? Did you put them in any kind of like sports or how did that work? I'm just curious.
Well, they were in sports, but they were, I mean, we had a social life.
Mhm.
We were very active in our church.
Okay.
And the kids not only went to the youth group in our church in El Paso, but there was a small youth group here out here in the country that really catered to the kids who were the Hispanic kids,
Okay.
and in that way we met and came into contact with people in very difficult situations,
I can imagine.
trying um, to navigate border issues and so on.
Yeah, yeah, which we will talk about, but okay.
But we won't talk about those.
We don't
We're
talk
not
about
going to
those
talk
things.
about those.
We're not going to talk about but the kids had, yeah, so they were able to play with other kids. They did interact with other children, and it sounds like you did a beautiful job. And then you got to write about these beautiful stories. How many books have you written? Have you written?
Um, I published a book in at the end of in 1999
Okay.
that was I I was asked by El Paso for Jesus, which was a coalition of about 100 local churches,
Okay.
to find writers um, to put a story in the El Paso Times every day that would help to build families, strengthen
Oh,
families.
I like
Okay.
that. Hmm.
So that was a huge project. That was finding finding writers who most of them had never published before. So training them and getting um, interesting stories, and it was very popular. People said that they would turn to the story of the day first before reading Ann Landers. So I was very, you know, I thought that was a great compliment.
That is
But
a great compliment. It is a great compliment. You're seriously an amazing lady. I'm so honored you came on the podcast today. Thank you so much. I like to usually end the podcast asking, what's your top gratitude? It could be more than one because I believe gratitude trumps any most negative emotions. So,
I am so thankful for my God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, who just who just loves me, helps me um, to see where I'm off, um, guides me, is so generous. I just uh, I just like to go out. We have beautiful skies here
I can
in El
imagine.
Paso, just gorgeous, beautiful skies, and I like to go out and just sing, "What a beautiful sky, what a beautiful morning. Your loving kindness is as great as the sky, and your mercies are new every morning."
Oh, Becky, that's just beautiful. Again, thank you for being here. You can listen to Becky on it. She will be on resilientnowpodcast.com. We have a website. She will also be on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can find her there. Please read her book, check it out. And if you're going through anything, we do have a resource page on the website, and it has some little things that might be able to get you through the week. It also has some links to some free organizations that you can think about listening, going and checking out to see if it can help you with whatever situation you're going through right now. Thank you for being here. Please stay resilient now and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Thank you.